Hey guys, Samo here. Thanks for checking out the channel and its contents. And if you feel like it, please do subscribe. Thanks so much. Enjoy the video. Bye.
It was pretty much, it was initially with Scott's band, Scott's music. That was the first record. Um, and the second record I wrote two songs on,
Dr. He,
and then
right? Yeah,
Dr. He, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And then after that, we started like splitting kind
yeah,
of the writing like half and half mostly. Um, so the first few, I would say, first couple of records, um, we didn't really have a working band.
Oh,
We
wow.
didn't have a consistent lineup that we could record, and so um, we had to like maximize what happened in the studio. And so what we did was we kind of like composed our way through these tunes in that they were kind of big productions, and they had cool shit happening and it kept it interesting. Um, and so the first two records, we'd hire people, we'd rehearse them, and we'd do these records. And then when we finally started like getting, we had this, back then it was this kind of strategy that you needed a calling card to get gigs and
Yeah,
festivals. And back
yeah,
then, a calling card was an LP,
yeah.
vinyl, not even CD, it was
Oh
vinyl.
shit, yeah, of course.
The first two were vinyl, and so if you had vinyl, you could send it to somebody, and you were legit, you
Yeah,
know. So once we started playing this music live, we realized how much of a straitjacket it was. It felt almost as restrictive as a top 40 gig because there are all
yeah,
these events and sections and stuff like that. And so we really had to like rethink our compositional process because basically we were standing behind the music, and we wanted to change that so that we, as our personalities as improvisers and players, would come out.
yeah,
And so we started really paring down how much we wrote and started emphasizing how we played together and what we could say on the instruments,
yeah.
you know.
But
Um,
you mentioned like the composing now. I mean, I know you wrote like Canine and the Precipice. I love
mhm.
that tune. That's my favorite tune you wrote. Like it starts off nothing, like da-da, and then again, like how was your process of writing for that band? Or I mean, I know when I listen to your records, your solo records, like some of are like based probably on jamming, or but some are like
Mhm.
really through composed stuff, like this tribal tech stuff. Some of it, at least, I hear. But what was your process of writing there, like for that group, for instance?
Well, the interesting thing was is that Scott and we agreed to become co-leaders of the band, um, but we didn't write together.
Oh, okay.
Um, I like what we would do is that we would check with each other. We were on the phone a lot, checking with each other and make sure that like we had an album coming up. We'd make sure that we're not writing the same tune. You know,
Okay.
we'd show each other demos of the direction we were going, and we would and at the same time we would bounce ideas off of each other. He would play me stuff he was working on. I would make suggestions. I would play him stuff, and he would make suggestions.
Wow.
So we were very much in isolation, writing what we wrote, although it was like in the same direction,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Because it's a unity. Yeah. You listen to the records, and even it's you two guys kind of having tunes. It's basically sounds so together. But
Yeah,
you,
yeah. It's kind of weird that like Henderson is the blues rocker,
yeah, yeah,
but like a big portion of the heavy rock stuff I wrote. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's weird. It's like we had this mix of of
But were you aware, like when you composed for that band, that you
mhm.
had like Henderson on guitar, like his style of playing, when you were writing heads or whatever, that he would be playing them, or you probably did.
um
I mean, right?
no like I got myself into trouble early because in the 80s was the explosion of like MIDI,
Yeah,
you know, and the ability to add instruments and percussion and things like that. And so I would work like fucking hard to get my demos to sound like
oh
really
yeah,
really good. And I take these demos and then we try to play them as a band, and it would like the band like just sounded empty and lifeless, you know. And it would piss me off so much because Henderson would make like the shittiest sounding demos, you know, just like this stupid.
Yeah.
He wouldn't work on sound design. He wouldn't work on drum programming. He wouldn't work on anything. And he would come up with these tunes, and the demo was like, ugh, you know. And then we'd play them, and it was like killing, you know. And so it was kind of frustrating. But that was, you know, that was my process. Eventually, I taught myself. I forced myself to like limit myself to a melody sound, a chord sound, drums,
Yeah.
and bass, and ended up, you know, writing things like K9 or
Yeah.
you know things.
How did you write Canine, by the way? I mean, because like it's on bass, like started jamming, or because it's like a this groove, like,
Um,
or this type of tunes. I mean,
I don't know. It's like you sometimes you really open up creativity with limitations. Like that one, I just gave myself the requirements of writing like a tune that's based on linear
yeah,
and not chords because I'd been writing so many fucking chords, you know. We we would joke, you know, that my tune won, you know, a ribbon at the state fair because it had the most chords in it, you know. Um,
oh, man.
so like I literally just gave myself the restriction, okay, just two lines, just a linear tune, you know.
Yeah. And you
So
wrote by hand back then, because now we
oh
have Sibelius and stuff like that. But
hell no. I've never like well prior to 84, 85,
yeah.
you know, maybe I wrote stuff by hand, but as soon as the Mac came out
Oh yeah.
and had
Shit.
sequencing, and even before that, the two songs I wrote for Dr. He,
Mhm.
I wrote on a Casio CZ5000,
Oh, man. Okay.
and it had a little 8-track sequencer that had like a 90s phone 2-line display on it, you know, and so
Man.
you could create by entering stepwise notes, you know, because I didn't really have playing chops, but I could enter notes.
Yeah.
And so, and the other thing is that if you wanted to change a note and then hear how it happened, you had to play it from the beginning every fucking time. So
Oh man.
I rigged up a little plastic like holder that I could stick something under. It would hold down the fast forward key so that I could just pull it out when I wanted to hear what I just changed,
One
you
section.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my whole process has been, you know, with sequencing and and the computer.
Yeah. Makes it easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it with?
Well, I mean, it makes it easier, but what it does is it gives you kind of immediate access to your
Yeah.
imagination, you
Yeah.
know? And part of the reason for that also was that living in LA, it's all about car culture. There's hardly you can hardly call any part of LA the center, you know.
Yeah.
It's sprawling 3-hour drive from one end to the other, you know. So to do a rehearsal for Treble Tech, you know, 4 to 6 people had to get in their cars, pack equipment, drive for hour and a half through traffic, set up. You know, you couldn't deliver a piece of paper and have it fail, you
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you had to have tested this stuff in with
Efficiency.
demos and stuff like that, you know, to make it worth everybody's while.
Yeah.
So
So
that
bizarre.
that
Man.
yeah, that brought the importance of demos and composition that way, you
Yeah.
know.
So funny, because now it's so easy. You know, you send someone a wave and that's it, or whatever. You can do a record already at
Yeah,
home
yeah,
without
yeah,
musicians almost.
yeah.
But back then, yeah, it's like when you say that. I remember I had a Spectrum. You know, the first computers, ZX Spectrum, like, and
Wow.
I still remember I played games on it like as a kid, and I was so excited that one figure was running, and then like the end of the screen, and it like glitched. And, like, but now if you see the games or the industry, it's like, man, it's like
It's
movies. But
it's like yeah, but isn't it it's bigger than music and TV combined?
yeah, yeah, like all these consoles like PlayStation and Xbox or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, it's incredible.
yeah, it's
It's
huge.
incredible. I wanted to catch you here also for Tribal Tech, asking you this, like, because you mentioned festivals and gigs, and I mean, I know you guys probably did like tons of gigging, but when was it the first time you guys went to Europe? Do you remember that? Was it still in the 80s? And how was the reaction of you guys and actually the audience?
Well, it was not, the important thing was like it's kind of strange how the first gig happened. Let's see, Scott was playing with Zawinul,
Hmm.
and at that summer there was like you know, the North Sea Festival.
Yeah, sure.
So there was like a competitor to the North Sea Festival that was going on. And so Henderson was playing with Zawinul at that festival. And that festival like had a cancellation and they had an open slot.
Ah,
And
okay.
so they
Funny.
asked Scott if his band could do it. And so I got a call, said, "Hey, get the guys together, let's fly," you know. And I was so like naive or whatever, stupid, whatever. I looked at it was actually it was John Beasley and Joey Heredia in the
Okay.
band.
Yeah, I know John Beasley. Yeah.
And I had the tickets and it said 20:30, you know, in European time. And you know, I'd only been to Europe a couple of times. I was not familiar with it. And I thought it was like 10:30, you know. And so I said everybody be there, you know, at 8:30 just to be, you know, an hour before or whatever. And
Yeah.
we were there. The flight had already gone, you know, and shit, man. So I had to, there was like, this is the 80s, you know, there was not
Yeah.
really email and shit like that. So I had to like call around, ask around, found a way to get us there through Ireland somehow, you know, and had to pay for more flights myself. And we got there, we had to spend like a few hours at a hotel on a layover, and we finally got there. It was an ordeal. And I think we ended up opening up for Mike Stern.
Oh, wow.
And lucky for us, there was a agent, Patrizio Chiozza,
Oh, yeah, I know
who,
him. Yeah, from Italy. Yeah, yeah, sure.
yeah, and he was there and he saw us and he dug us.
Ah,
And
that's how you hooked up with him. Okay, that's
that
quite
was the
cool.
main thing. I don't remember the audience or anything like that,
Yeah.
you know, but the fact that he liked what we did and gave us the opportunity to go over there again later, kind of opened up that door for us.
Yeah.
So so
Did,
that's, and then the other thing is because of all the delays and I had to buy extra flights or something like that, um, we the 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 festival directors, you know, got us in a room and he wasn't going to pay us, you know, the full amount, you know, and we were like, "Rah, rah, rah," and then he brings in this big guy, you know, almost like an enforcer, and and we couldn't argue anymore. We were just okay. We tucked our heads and like, okay, whatever, okay, we'll take whatever you give us, you know.
oh, man.
It was a total, you know, stupid mistake for me and a money losing situation, but it turned out really well, you know,
Well,
that we can
yeah.
get back over.
Did
So.
you like touring later? Like, I mean, you guys probably toured a lot, and like when I started with jazz, I had this, idea, kind of like a romantic idea when you start, hearing you guys or Pat Metheny or, and then you see how, wow, it's so much, it must be amazing on touring. And then you do your first tour, and it's like, fuck, man, I have to call the promoter, I have to, take care of the guys. When is dinner? When is sound check? I mean, the playing is that's the least worry.
Yeah,
How was it?
basically yeah, like because of the kind of music we played and the small audience for it,
Yeah.
it didn't allow for the level of touring that leads to an acceptable lifestyle. You know, it's like when we had to learn a lot. You know, like the first the first tour we did of the U.S. Henderson and I put our money together and bought this van, and we bought a van with no windows
Oh,
so that
man.
we piled up equipment in the back, you know, and nobody could see that it was full of equipment. And we did this first tour, and we got booked like, you know, through the East Coast and stuff like that. And by the middle of the tour, so many gigs have been canceled that we had to like just fucking cancel and come home, you
Oh,
know.
man.
So so Henderson and like the keyboard player, Kinsey flew home. Kirk promised to help us drive, and then about, you know, a half day in, he bailed and said, I'm out of here. And so me and Henderson drove like 3 days straight from like Baltimore to LA, losing money the whole time. You know, it was a nightmare. You know, so that was our first tour experience. You know,
Talking
it
about
was,
romantic, right?
yeah, and so it was challenging. I mean, like when we later tours, you know, we at first we thought, okay, we'll have a sound person and somebody to help with gear. So we were in the van and we were going to use my personal car, and we started out with, you know, like 6 people, you know, and we had to bail on that like
Yeah, yeah,
immediately. You know, so
sure.
it just became 4 guys in a van, you know, and we would be calling, try to coordinate with the engineer at whatever club to get the sound check and make sure the hotels are reserved, doing all this, you
Yeah,
know, stuff that, you know, you'd think would be taken care of. No, we had to do it all. So, and it was funny in talking to Gergo, uh, he started playing when he was 3, you know, and he was like, you know, a professional at a
yeah.
very young age. And by the time he was 15, he had his own personal drum tech, you know. I mean, that's just how. And so it's so weird. He would tell me he would come to see us in Vienna, and he couldn't believe he would see me and Kinsey and Henderson and Kirk like just schlepping gear up and down the stairs, and he was like, holy, he couldn't fucking believe it, you know? But that was our life, you know.
Yeah.
We were
It's funny.
a moving
Yeah,
company, except for, you know, 2 hours out of the night.
yeah. It's like I don't know who said it. One jazz musician, you're basically paid to travel.
Yeah, basically, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean the amount you play, it's amazing, but before that, it's so much hassle and all that, and it's just like, you got to keep
yeah,
a smile in a way on your face because fans come and they support the music, and you're tired, but still like, oh, okay, sure,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
But that, you
amazing.
know, that was we were young and and we didn't know we did know there were other ways to tour, but we
Yeah,
never could break into that level of success because we wanted to play our music, you know. And
yeah,
we were lucky that we didn't have record companies
yeah,
forcing us into a direction, you know.
yeah, yeah.